Hello, my Scorpio friends, and welcome to your monthly forecast. So this is basically going to be in effect right now, and it's going to last all the way until November. However, also the horoscope I did for October is still solid, so it will be good for you to also check this one out as well. So this is going to be partial kind of a reading because I want to actually add to it, and it's going to do it in a few days because I will be ready to do the proper basically reading, because I want to basically say that I'll be taking pre-orders for the yearly horoscopes for the next year that are going to be chargeable. It's going to be $20, I believe, for 1 month, one sign, or $40 for all of them. So anyway, I'm going to add this introduction properly in a few days, and I'm going to re-upload this video. You're also going to have addition to this video in the very end. Now, Scorpio, birthday month means birthday discount. You get 10% off from 3 things: either a karma reading, or fly on the wall reading, or a nitty-gritty reading. Karma reading is like where you figure out your karmic contract, your soul contract, to see what you really wrote there, and you wrote it, and what you need to accomplish. And boy, you do have karmic contract. So it's going to be easier for you to determine certain things. Or fly on the wall, which is kind of general reading like such. Plus, you get to ask me 3 questions from any segment of life. Or nitty-gritty, which basically is a 45-minute reading. And in that reading, you can ask me, I think, 3 questions from one area of life. So, any of these readings is right now for you 10% off. If you are interested, just contact me, and I'm going to send you a link for these readings. So, let's start. Scorpio, I was actually really excited about this reading because you guys had the longest tough time. I mean, I started this channel in end of January, 27th of January. So basically February, if you really look at it. And ever since, it was like, oh my God, Scorpio and Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. And then you were going like all the way down through the struggle, and then you became that phoenix, right? And the transformation was happening, and it's happening, and it's basically a process. It's not a point in time. And once when you start transforming, you just basically keep kind of like looking it up. So before I start with the reading, I drew a rune for you. And voila, you got Laguz, which is the rune of water, right? Laguz always reminds me of lagoon, and that's how I remember it. So this is talking and reminding you to kind of enjoy the soft sensibilities of harmony, affection, and safety in the arms of loved ones. So this is the rune of water. And so, you know, in the Nordic, basically, you know, teachings like fjords and those safe inlets and harbors play a big role, right? Because you can kind of go through these crevices, right? So this has that symbolism. And they also have those geysers, right? And it's the land of the fish. This is really, really, really important to Vikings, especially, that basically made their living like in the open water, right? So also, because of going out in the water, and meaning like you're waiting for a husband. And I don't know how many of you saw the series Vikings, and if you don't really care much about it, watch it anyway. The main actor is like really, really, really cute, right? Not cute, never mind cute, scratch cute, super sexy, super hot. And also, you can see in that same series the guy who is there, or is shaman. That would be kind of personification of basically a devil, or somebody who can kind of play both sides, right? So it's going to be interesting kind of play. But so let's go back to it. Because the Vikings went out in the open, basically water, and then when they would come back, and this kind of like also signifies homecoming, joyful celebration, right? And sort of like it's kind of connected to affairs of the heart. So this is saying, now take a deep breath, Scorpio. Finally, your love life is now safe from the stormy turbulence of any kind of like unwanted or unfettered emotions, and you will find a safe haven in the arms of the people that you love, and they will love you back. Now we have two possibilities, up and down. You did get it in the upright meaning, which signifies prosperity and success. However, it cautions patience. Patience. It's not going to happen tomorrow. Please don't write it to me. Don't even write it to me like in 3 days. Just kidding. Like, you guys have to keep seeing this reading every few days, please. This reading has lots of layers. I'm not even including really deep layers. I do it in my private readings, and basically this reading here is to tell you how far up you can soar. If you do it, if you don't do it, you have free will. It is not my responsibility, but I'm telling you, you can go all the way up, guys, right? So be patient. It's not going to happen in a day or 2 or 3 or 4. It might show this kind of like little kind of like crack in a wall. The light is coming in, so keep coming back. It's going to give you more and more hints each time you check this, right? So remember that, like, as just like we go out on the sea, we have this ebb and flow of the tides, right? So in human life, there is like also time, like, you know, for a season, and time for a reason, and time for everything, right? So all you have to do is to be as calm, as kind of like imperturbable, just like the surface of a lake, and things will float to you, right? So this turbulence that you had was calming down, and finally there is this beautiful kind of like sailing in. So even though this is foretelling enormous emotional success, sometimes you may find yourself in emotional void with very little going on, where maybe others seem to be making all the moves and kind of leaving you possibly feeling isolated and left on the sidelines, kind of like maybe just being an observer of events rather than actively participating. If this is the case, then again, this rune is an excellent omen because it advises patience. There is a reason. Remember, I just said for that. It informs you that you don't have to do anything special to change your situation, but rather that the situation will change around you. Check this out. That's a concept. You don't have to push it. You guys are fixed sign. I'm a fixed sign. We tend to kind of like dominate our destiny. This is asking you guys, there is a part of your growth, there is a part of your transformation. Just enjoy it. If somebody is putting you on the sideline and says, you're not going with me in a car, just wait for the bus. Don't fret, because that car might have an accident and you have been saved. Whatever happens here in this period, it'll be happening for a reason, indicating that your time is surely coming, and it's surely going to be a good one. Then I checked these cards, guys, and I was like, holy smoke, this is amazing. You have like a whole bunch of layers over here. So let's start with this. You kind of became really strong. Stone people, right? Vigilance. You guys been going through such a storm for what, a while? Let's say almost a year, I would say, right? Something, it started to appear as a storm last October, and it was culminating quite a bit, right? So you see, it shows basically let's call them stone people that stand in kind of like in their kind of presence, and they're overseeing basically the shores of an ocean. So look at how many different systems I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different systems, and yet we are getting the same answers. You guys know, just to get 3 cards from 78 card deck, it is like 3.5 million combinations. Do the math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 cards from 78 times 5, so it is like 350, 390 cards. That's basically what's happening, right? So here we're seeing actually the soft and mobile backdrop, this beautiful sky, right? And for this something that is so solid, it seems to be kind of like 3 elements that we see here together. And this is the guys, really the point here, that I'm trying to give you this kind of details that all of a sudden that will start making sense to you. We kind of go into nature, we see that, and click, we see this photo. No, it's not going to be a photograph for you any longer, because you're going to notice this calmness, this almost like oily like water. You're going to notice like this heaviness of this water. And this is a Runa water. You're going to notice this fluidity of the sky and the sturdiness and vigilance of this kind of shores, because this is where you guys are becoming. You became strong. You'll be going through this huge storm that calmed down, the turbulence calmed down, and you guys, you're still standing, right? So now you learned a lesson, and when the storm hits again, you will be better prepared. It's not going to feel as bad anymore. You actually did win. Just give yourself a pat on the shoulder. So remaining vigilant at this time, but not only out of fear. What means vigilant? Vigilant means opening up your mind and senses to information as it's presented to you. So through your eyes, ears, I guess, physical sensations, but also detached thoughts. Don't assign this. This is a picture. No, just think through it. So this is especially true in possibly 2 different areas. First, follow any gut feelings that tells you to be wary about someone or something. And also that you should pay close attention to an important opportunity that is going to present itself really, really soon. That opportunity is going to help, I think, either help or it will enhance your life and the lives of others. So maintain your vigilance of the clues around you and also inside of you. Try to see which parts of you are light, which parts of you are heavy and solid, and which parts of you are unmovable. So examine that situation with heart, intuition, and mind in harmony. For basically this is how vigilance serves you. So detach, take a breath, and stand tall in your stature, right? So interestingly enough, like since there are like so many repetitions in these cards, I was just thinking, okay, how do I approach it? But I'm going to approach it deck by deck, and that way we are going to really see later how all of them connect. Because look, after this storm, after like you got really, really strong, you got to this new beginnings. Look at this. Look at these like beautiful rays shining. So it's showing dawn, the start of the day. It's kind of like bringing reassurance that night has passed, right? And making like new opportunities. Tomorrow is another day, Scarlet, kind of a thing, right? It is really also reminding us of predictability, right? It is happening every day. We do expect a new day to be born each and every day. It is something for us to know when we are in our dark moments, that we know, well, tomorrow is another day. Maybe we all should print that statement and put it somewhere in a kind of like proximity, so we actually see that, because this too shall pass. Even if this means that something was so great today, doesn't mean it's going to be so great tomorrow. This is not necessarily good or bad. It is just the way it is, right? So here we see this like first lights shining, and if we ever actually wake up on our own at this kind of time, we kind of like feel special excitement, right? Because it is the beginning that we can literally taste with our senses. So when kind of like you get this card, it will tell me that you will become gradually attuned to your senses, and that the light will be increasing, and that you will be continuing to observe the world, and you will be actually paying attention to sounds, to smells, and freshness that is kind of associated with all of this. And soon you're going to see this sunshine, this excitement that is basically going to be happening in your life. And at the same time, you'll be saying farewell to the old and honor this new by releasing any self-imposed constraints or resistance to the truths that you know. You may have known truths as software programming. You accumulated the truth from books. The truth over here is inside of you, and right now you'll be realizing how things need to progress, right? So please keep in mind that there is like only one thing forward, and that thing forward is like something that is like your gut instinct, that you have to kind of like find out what works for you, pay attention to a little bit more details, and go with that. So this is now your chance to develop the project as maybe you had that is like on a back burner, embark on some kind of adventure that always you wanted. I'm really sorry, guys. Okay, so over here, just to finish it, this is telling me that the prospect of you kind of embarking on this new adventure, right, and taking initiative is going to start being more and more and more visible. And the more the visible this becomes, the more your doubts and uncertainties may arise, right? So I just need you to kind of like rest assured that just like dawn kind of like goes in a day, and by following your own inner guidance, you will succeed, guys. There is like no doubt about it. And here, not only will you succeed, but you're going to full completion, like full moon. And so what, every 29.5 days, right, moon kind of shines bright and full in the sky. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous kind of planet. I don't know how many of you really know the size, but sort of like a little bit the size wide as United States of America. So it's not really big. Not that US is small, but like, I mean, like when you really see it in the sky, we kind of like don't really know the exact, we don't have perception of how close it is and how big it is. So moon is definitely affecting our moods. You see this like dogs howling at the moon. You see, you know, it's considered, it's connected to Luna in tarot. Moon has like all this kind of like special meaning as well, right? Because it is a part of who we are, but it's also a very kind of part that we are not adapted to, right? So in this particular card, we see the grandeur of the moon at its peak, and it's kind of blazing brightly and creating a silhouette of a tree, kind of like those idyllic kind of pictures. So this beautiful orb reminds us that all cycles have their time of completion and, you know, fulfillment, and one that is inevitably going to be followed by a decrease until yet another cycle is initiated. So you guys are going from standing strong to new beginnings to the full moon. So it's going to be really soon this time that you can take pleasure in knowing that whatever you have been working toward, and this is the affirmation. So it's not like I'll just start something new and let's see what happens. You guys have affirmation of success, right? So let yourself feel the contentment and satisfaction of this accomplishment. It's almost like feeling like when you take a deep breath and reach the point where your lungs kind of like cannot take more, and they're like really pleasantly full, and then you exhale and your body is exhaling all these things. So that's kind of like this ebb and flow right here. So it is like really not only important to strive to get there, but it's also, with this message, is important that you know how to relax and how to enjoy the completion, and how to basically learn that it's going to be the next item of your agenda. So give yourself time to relax and rest before tackling next assignments, right? So check this out, and we are getting into the next stage of the cards. So connected to the vigilance, you have stand your ground. You guys were fighting almost against the sun, and do not, you know, the fighting is meaning finding your path, and everything and everybody is pushing us from our paths because other people are either afraid, or they don't want us to succeed, or they just don't know better, or they can be controlling and they think that their way is better than what we can discover for ourselves. You being a fixed sign, meaning once when you set, you're set, you stay the course, right? The fixed sign is the angel. These are the angels. That's why you see them in the corner. If you go to Rome, and I don't know if few of you follow these movies from or Dan Brown books, right? In Rome, you have like these two axes, right? You have Leo and Aquarius, and you have Scorpio, Taurus, and they're like, if you check the map of the Rome, they're literally just like the opposites. So just like things do make sense, guys. This is not just frou, trust me. I kind of cross-reference, double reference, triple reference, all of this stuff. So you guys have been challenged. Things and people were coming your way that you were thinking, maybe I'm not on the right path. No, you are. Stand your ground. Do not be pushed away from it, because check this out. What is the chance? New beginnings. But look at where she's standing on. She's standing on the world, and there is like this new opening. There is the door that will open. This new beginning is not only a new beginning, but it's also the stage of this positivity, just like what you see at the dawn, like when you feel this like freshness of, it's breathtaking, like that's possibly the best word. When you see this like birth of a new day, nothing comes really close to that feeling that is so overwhelming. It's especially when it's the sunshine, it just like is something really, really special. And then guys, voila, Scorpio, you earned your third eye. You earned this vision. You were standing your ground. You are like fighting when it was hard. You have been through the storms, but you are getting your wings. You're getting your angel wings. It is time. It is time to go to the next level. This is your full moon. You are transforming, guys. You are no longer a Scorpio. You're now an eagle. I'm not going to say that you are Phoenix yet, but eagle. You're seeing things from a completely different perspective. And you know how eagle sees? Eagle doesn't see like people. We see everything in whatever angle we can see. They kind of see it normally until they kind of like see something that is of interest to them. And then at that point, it's almost become infrared. And they kind of zoom onto something and phew, they go for it. And this is possibly what this is talking about, your things that you place on a back burner. This doesn't mean you have to go and just go right into it. You can still kind of have a debate if you want to go in that direction, you don't want to go in that direction. But the truth is that you are going to start seeing these things and kind of sorting things out for you, what you want and what you don't want. And it's going to be really, really, really important. Now guys, here we have I think this is a Knight of Swords, and maybe before I get there, I think I should go with this one, because this is Knight of Swords as well. as I said, like the repetition that you guys are getting, it is like absolutely astounding. And this is kind of like now, this is kind of like where you're going into. So there is like still this kind of like battleground over here, as you can see on all these cards, right? You can see even here, Queen of Swords. There is like this fighting, and look at this huge armor here, right? So what does it take for him to kind of like be like this? This is kind of like a figure, right? That almost like you can see the rage. But look, the best part of this card is like, look at these buttons. These are the buttons that we can actually push in us, right? And this is like when the tempers kind of fly, and this is talking about explosive tempers or rage. But this is what is masking that feelings of pain, right? If we really think that if we frighten people away, you know, maybe we are thinking this, that if we frighten people away, we can avoid being hurt. In fact, it's exactly the opposite, right? By covering our wounds with armor, we are preventing them from being healed. And by lashing out at others, we keep ourselves from getting love and nourishment we need. You're sending to the universe a message, I don't want love. So sure, it's kind of like really weird, because of course this is almost like a knee-jerk reaction. So if this description seems to fit you, it's kind of like to stop fighting. And there is like so much love available to you if you just let it in. So start by forgiving, especially about forgiving yourself. You're worth it. Guys, remember, trajectory for you is like absolutely amazing. And then you have the burden, and this is one of the more interesting cards in this deck, right? Seeing this kind of like rooster over here and moving on the mountain. So this shows really kind of like that we sometimes load ourselves with unnecessary kind of things. Oops. So this is talking about that certain things maybe didn't really work in life. Maybe we wanted to accomplish certain things. Maybe we had this trajectory, or maybe somebody saddled us and told us, well, you know, I really think you should be going in this direction. Isn't this what is happening to many of us, almost like on daily basis? That we kind of like, instead of going on our own tangent and on our path, we kind of like go and follow and honor the wishes of the others, right? So when we kind of carry a load of shoulds and should nots, right, basically we become like this struggling figure, right, which we can see it here, trying to make our way uphill, right? So we can go faster, we can try harder, right, or reach the top, right? And it's almost like that tyrant. It's either the boss or we are screaming at ourselves, always demanding more and more. We just like get instead angrier, right? You just get more outraged, right? So if life to you these days feel like a struggle, from probably feeling it was forever, this is kind of so hard, it's my cradle to grave kind of thing, maybe it's time to kind of like just shrug your shoulders and say, okay, you know what, off you go. I'm getting rid of you, and especially of you, and see how it's going to be to walk without all the characters. You guys have your own mountain to conquer, your own dreams to fulfill, but you will never have the energy to pursue them until you release yourself from the expectations that others are placing upon you. Maybe you're thinking they're yours, but keep in mind, and you have to learn how to separate that, right? Chances are that those, you know, expectations exist only in your own mind, and that doesn't mean that they cannot weight you down. So it is time to lighten up your load and send them their way, because you guys are coming to this maturity. Lovely card where it says it's a new beginning. We are going into something better. There's this new start, a new beginning. But this card in this deck, is shown like in a beautiful flourishing pattern. And look at this rainbow. So it's a figure that stands alone, right? But it's kind of filled with these flowers, right? And carried this kind of like feeling of the spring, right? But this is basically talking about your inner flowering and the wholeness that you can feel. And it's telling you you can move in any direction that you want. So when you guys draw this card, you basically need to know that you guys are earning and deserving a gift for hard work. Well done, for completion. Your base is solid, and success and good fortune are yours. However, that success that you're going to feel, enormous success, is going to come from inside. So as I said, you guys have repetition that each and every layer is telling me the same thing. So let's check your law of attraction cards over here, which kind of like was really, really interesting. So here again, you have this fighting, right? So there is like this struggle, like in this time, you know, it just seems to be maybe something that started like, I mean, very innocent, kind of like a game, oh, you know, push and pull. And if you really look at this closely, I guess you're getting a feeling how that's going to end. Somebody is just going to kind of like end up like with their bottom on the floor, or worse yet, with a face over there. So this is asking of you again to stand your ground, have courage, right? And just keep your vitality. It's kind of really important. Do not put things inside. It is okay to put it outside. Now, this is also telling me that you may have a friend, a man, who will help you through all this process. Now, these cards are always seen upright. I just kind of like to see them reversed, because it just gives me a little bit more information. So for the middle one, I had two cards. I had Ten of Swords and the Chariot, but don't think about that as a regular deck, because this is a collector's deck, and just like Ocho Zen, so you have to know about the other philosophies in order to get it. And I absolutely love how this card is showing Ten of Swords. It's showing the boat that is battling the odds. Remember the fjord, the Vikings? Again, this can be very dangerous, and you've been coming through something very dangerous. So new beginnings, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it's going to be interesting, and it's going to be really, really good for you. It could have been a new beginning after some kind of defeat. Maybe you lost the game over here, but you didn't lose it, because you have learned something, right? So you have to figure out what is the conflict inside of you, because something like that is still maybe preventing you from fulfilling your dream. You have to leave behind, because you guys are really opening up a completely new stage, right? And then, boy, are you getting it. Look at this. It's not only just a little beginning. Remember how I was saying it's not tomorrow, it's not in 3 days, it's not in 5 days. Well, guess what? It is like in 3 seconds. Because a Chariot is a fast moving card, and it's like talking about dynamics, and it's saying, listen, you need to act. You really need to act. It's new beginnings. Get rid of these burdens. These are your burdens. You need to get rid of it. So this kind of like keeps telling you about it, right? And make really concrete goals that you really want to have. And listen, the moment when you get off this reading, write down what you want to do. Just anything on your phone, email it to yourself, put a note. Do not forget. This is really, really important, right? And take that first step immediately, within a few hours of expressing your desire. So this is like how fast it is. So you guys want this to happen, just don't sit and wait for it, because somebody's going to end up on their ass. you can either do that and continue fighting it, or you can do what I'm telling you. It's not a big effort. Just do something and things will start to change, because guess what? You're getting into this concentration level and focusing. It's asking for focusing all attention, energy, and concentration on your dream. So that way you'll be actually increasing your vibration. This is a tree pose, guys. So is that such a big surprise that is happening in this combination with this tree, with the completion? This is kind of pulling your inner resources, knowing what is inside. Trees sway. So if you're not having everything happening in exact like straight trajectory that you're kind of envisioning, this is okay. Trees sway. Allow yourself that experience as well. And lastly, guys, your tarot. It's like ridiculous. You have the repetition here again. Going deep inside. What is it you guys want? What is your wish versus the wishes of the others? Who do you want? What kind of partner you want to generate? Is this going to be kind of a thing that you're going to do? So maybe you're going to say, you know, it is really important for me to find a quality partner. And how? You figure out, okay, wait a minute, maybe I have to change my online profile. Maybe I'm putting myself all this like beautiful and rosy and cheery and the pictures are the best. Sure, I'm getting response, but is that the quality response? So diamond in the rough is a tough, but it's always good to surprise them when they see you than to disappoint them when they see you. And this is not to say that you're putting any fake pictures. Two dimensions is not the same as 3 dimensions, right? Because this is what you see in 2 dimensions. But somebody might see it as this. Because this is when you get in 3 dimensions, you're starting to see different sides and different shapes, and they will see the dents that you kind of grew up to accept in yourself. But to them, that might be a big thing. So as I said, surprise them, because you guys are going to minimize anything that doesn't work. It's going to be cut off. You're going to start to charge yourself. This new beginnings that you have again. You are going to have a new beginning in love as well, or in the business for sure. This is the card that is a card of a choice in this deck, which I love. Look at this. This is my Savvy and Matrix. There is this like love coupling. So you guys, you have to figure out what creates unity for you, what creates this beautiful love. And you have to figure out for yourself this time. You lived your life that for somebody else's expectations, that they just saddle you with it. No, it is time to kind of like do it differently. Now, I actually did pull 2 more cards for you from my Oracle decks. And I'm wondering if I should give you both of them, and I decided not to. I'm going to give you only one, because I'm going to add Lenormand to this reading in a few days, and then I'm going to read the other card after the Lenormand. But I want to read you this one, because this one is the guidance cards that you pulled, and look at this. You are receiving guidance. Follow your own path. Guys, this is your guidance. This is what you can get to. Use it. Use it. So this is what it says. There is a design and pattern to everything. Nope, that's not guidance. Okay. It says, like Ariadne's thread that led Theseus out of the labyrinth, you're being offered a thread that will lead you to where you need to go in your life. Your guides are always watching over you and are helping you at this time. Sometimes you are aware of this help in your life, and other times you are unaware. Your guides can help you in many ways. Through the people that come into your life, the thoughts and ideas that give you insights into what you're all about or what you need to do. You will know when you're receiving and following guidance, because the right things just seem to happen. the right doors seem to open. When you call on your guides for help, they will respond. Be open to whenever you receive, because you don't always get what you want, but rest assured, you get what you need. So trust that your guides are showing you the right path, and walk on in the comfort of knowing that you're not alone on your journey. Follow the thread, the direction, the path that your guidance is showing you. My dear Scorpio, again, get your personal reading. It's special this month, so it will be really good to read for you, and it is my honor as well, given how much work you did for yourself, each one of you. So again, give yourself a pat on the shoulder, and as I said, do not run away. Kind of like write this what you want and start putting it in action right away. And as always, you know guys, I love you. In a few days I'm going to add certain things on this reading, so when I re-upload it, you just go to, I don't know, 40 minutes mark and just like see the second part. Love you everybody. Bye.